Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. Excuse the greasy hair, going back to vintage clueless drinker territory there. But it's been a bit of a heavy few days. Good heavy though. But yeah, so it's a Sunday evening and yeah, that's all you need to know. So today, going over to Northern Monk, and this is part of their Patrons project. This is number 22.07, part of the Independent North Patrons project, brewed in collaboration with Strive Films. And this is, or is the beer actually called Independent North? Anyway, it's with Jack King, who I believe is the artist who's done this wonderful, I will open it up so you can see it, and the Ceremony, or is the Ceremony who does it? I sometimes get really, we'll open it up and we'll be able to see who's been involved in this one. But yeah, this is a spiced Cascadian dark ale, clocking in at 5.4% ABV, brewed with Mosaic, Incognito, Centennial, Simcoe, Mosaic, Sabro, and then additions of cardamon, black pepper, cinnamon and nutmeg. So sounds interesting. And is there an actual pull tab? There it is. So we'll get the artwork there, looking very nice. Hopefully this camera picks up a little bit better than my old one. So the Ceremony, the Ceremony is the film. Okay, it's an experimental drama about the life and death of a young asylum seeker and the struggle of the two migrants forced to bury him illegally in the Yorkshire Hills. Okay. Jack King is a writer. Can you see me? Jack King is a writer and director from Bradford. He's spent the last 13 years making music videos, short films, and even stuff for Northern Monk. He's won some awards and his films have been played around the world, but there's only one thing that matters at the moment, one thing burning a hole in his head. It's a film he wants to make so badly. He asked the lovely folks at Northern Monk to turn it into a delicious can of beer so you can get a little taste of it. It's called The Ceremony. It's a fine beer now, but its final form is an indie feature film to be made with blood, sweat, tears, proper Northern grit, and hopefully you. Jack and his award-winning producers are putting in everything they have, but are seeking investors with a great taste to help us make this film in a way that will ensure its international impact and to find its audience. Can you or anyone you know help us? The Ceremony is a testament to the North, a celebration of multiculturalism, Yorkshire landscape, and the hardiness and generosity of its people. And I can, well, as a Northerner, very much agree. And yeah, I'm not sure if this will work. I don't know why you'd be watching any of my shit on a television, but you can scan that QR code if you want to find out more. So it's a really good way of sort of like getting it out there about a film. We wanted to be ambitious, daring and different with this one, just like Jack's new movie. This is from the notes from the brewer section. This spiced Cascadian dark ale is part inspired by Middle Eastern flavours to link up the protagonists in the Ceremony, but also invokes winter ale flavours like roasted malts and spices. Using a black IPA-inspired base, but with a pale ale strength, we spice this beer at 3 stages with cinnamon, nutmeg, green cardamom, and a hint of black pepper to bring those winter and exotic flavours to the fire, or the fore. Hopped with some classic US varieties, Centennial, Simcoe and Mosaic, which work brilliant in the dark IPA. We've also used a touch of Sabro to give this ale a slight undertone of coconut and sweetness. So, gotta say, I did a review of this, but I just ended up deleting the video because I just got annoyed with me video. A little bit disappointed with that, in all fairness, and didn't really get any of the Sabro that was used in that beer. But anyway, I digress, and I've waffled on for way too much. Fun fact, I never use the term waffled on outside of making videos. I seem to have a vocabulary specifically for my high quality, wonderfully produced. I mean, look at that empty space and the clumsy fairy lights and a Northern Monk label that I thought would be fun to stick on the wall, but can't take it off because it'll rip off whatever's behind that. Oh, called wallpaper. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And I will put information, as always, with anyone involved in the Patrons project. But of course, links to the film if you want to find out more. So I do like a good Cascadian dark ale. And I'm interested to see what those, the combination of the hops they've used, as well as the adjuncts. Because of course we've just come off pumpkin spice season, which basic bitch. I mean, he's wearing a purple Andy Warhol Uniqlo sweatshirt, which is very ill-fitting, and thankfully the camera cuts off just before you see his breasts. But yeah, and I'm here for it all the time. I know we should all be lambasting and demonising the likes of Starbucks, but when it comes to pumpkin spice season, they've taken a little bit of my money these past couple of months. But of course, they won't pay any tax with it, but that's another story, isn't it? Using my Patron Society glass for this one, a thing that I'm not a part of. So we'll add that. We'll tick that box in the twat section. And doesn't it look nice? The head dissipated really quickly. It was like pretty much, I didn't realise it. I didn't acknowledge it, that it was going to go over the rim of the glass. But hey ho, it is what it is. We're not all perfect. But yeah, doesn't that look absolutely lovely? Pretty much as you would expect, jet black in the glass with a slight tan coloured head. So let's see what we get on the nose. Oh. Well, you're getting the hops first and foremost. That's like obviously the predominant sort of aroma, as you would expect with a style of beer like this. Definitely picking up that Centennial. You're getting the sort of like fragrant aspects of the spices they've used. Maybe that sort of like earthy cardamon sort of aroma coming through. I never really use cardamon in cooking, because I'm just not really that big of a fan of it. So I thought I'd get a beer. But I won't be like one of those knobheads on Untappd who gives it a 1 out of 5 because, oh, I don't like cardamom. Well, why'd you buy a fucking beer? I don't know. Don't get me started on people like that. You're getting that sort of like dark cherry licorice sort of aroma. Little hint of cinnamon coming through. Reminds me of like big red chewing gum. It smells very nice, very aromatic. It really, really is. Little hint of black pepper. But yeah, those hops are working brilliantly with the roasted malt base. And then just like those little hints of spice. So far, so good. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. Ooh. Multiple things happen whilst you're drinking that. It's got a really, it's one of those, I can hear the twat sirens ringing right now with what I am about to say. It's got that subtle complexity to it. It's a complex beer, but it's subtle the way it goes about it. But then I take that sip that you've just witnessed me take, and I'm getting a completely different flavour than what I had on my initial sip. The Sabro does indeed impart a little bit of a, God, I wish I didn't have greasy hair. It doesn't matter. The Sabro does impart a little bit of a sweet coconut flavour. I am definitely getting the cinnamon and the cardamon. The black pepper is not necessarily like a strong black pepper taste. It's more like seasoned the beer, if that makes any sense. I mean, I know salt and pepper are there to season and enhance flavours. So fundamentally, that's what salt and pepper is, isn't it, really? But the pepper here, sometimes pepper in a beer can be really sort of like overpowering. So in a very clumsy way, that's what I was trying to say. It's not overpowering. Getting a call while shooting a video. Thankfully, the video doesn't stop, although hopefully it doesn't completely cut out the sound. A little bit of like a dark, really earthy, high cacao volume count chocolate coming through. Centennial, you can really taste it because it's got that same flavour you get. How would I describe it, like, specifically? You know, like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And you just know you can taste. Is Centennial even in Sierra Nevada Pale Ale? Or am I thinking of like, I don't know. But you know that sort of like American classic Pale Ale character you get from those sea hops? Now, if anybody at this point is not calling bullshit on anything that comes out of my mouth in a beer review, then shame on you. Really, shame on you, because that was a stupid thing to say. And I think the Simcoe's working. Good save. Simcoe's working really well with the spices. And I think the spices work extremely well within the context of the beer, because you throw those ingredients into a beer, you've got a good chance of completely destroying any other flavour and making it so overpowering to the point where you might as well just be stuffing your mouth full of soaked potpourri. But I'm not getting that at all. You are getting those individual, yet sort of blended spice elements. God, I wish this was a turtleneck. Could you imagine how cool I'd look in a purple turtleneck? Lovely, smooth, medium mouthfeel. There's enough there for that black IPA, Cascadian Dark Ale hoppiness. But I really think those spices have been used remarkably well. That fine balance of, you're not picking, you know, where it can like fall into that camp where it's like you don't get any of it, it might as well not even be in the beer. But then on the other hand, it's like, that's all I can taste. And so you get a sort of like a flavour on the back end that sort of like permeates as you speak. But everything is there, but used in such a way that it just flows and blends really, really nicely. I nearly took my teeth out with the glass then. Yeah, I really like this. I really, really like this. It's a hard thing, well, to brew beer in general. And it's a very expensive mistake if you mess up a batch of beer. But I think they've done a wonderful job with this. It's an intriguing way to promote a film. Although, that being said, there's part of me that thinks that this beer could potentially get overlooked. Just with the sheer amount of other Northern Monk beers and that sort of stuff. I mean, this sort of beer, well, but mind you, that being said, for this time of the year, people would probably gravitate to, oh, this sounds interesting and perfect for this time of year. So you've got that sort of like exposure, but at the same time, a beer like this, but then I'm going to contradict it now because I've just thought loads of people are really wanting nice black IPAs and Cascadian dark ales. But again, I think that's such like a small, within the context of craft beer and the consumer base right now, I think that's quite a small sort of like group. So I think, yeah, I do genuinely think that this beer may get overlooked slightly, and it's a real shame because it's a damn fine beer. Damn fine. You don't have to put a word after damn fine, do you? Damn fine beer. It's promoting a film which has, from the sounds of it, got a really good, strong message and something to say, which I think is it's lacking in this sort of day and age of filmmaking. There's not too many filmmakers, I find, who have something to say with their films. But then you get like the extreme side of that where the film is destroyed, unfortunately, by sometimes a really good, strong message, to the point where it gets a bit preachy. And we've got to admit that we don't like being preached to, whether it's something we didn't know about or whether it's a cause that we're, you know, very passionate about. So, yeah, I love this for the fact that it's been brewed not only just in collaboration with a filmmaker, but also to get that film out there. And I hope that this beer does get some influential eyes on it, and someone who, just by chance, fan of Northern Monk, fan of a good Cascadian dark black IPA, picks up and thinks, oh, do you know what? After reading into it, that sounds like a good idea to me. And it might come across like I've been paid to say that, but why would I take money from a filmmaker who's actually trying to get his film out there? So shut up. And plus, the artwork on this is just absolutely gorgeous. Who's done the artwork? I'm peeling this terribly to the point where like the top layer of the label's coming off. Poster art is by Andrew Sales, who is at Andrew Sales, and then the photographs included in the, well, to show you little segments, clips of the film, screenshots, screen grabs. Get the proper words right. It is by Kev Briscoe, or Bisco, Hisco, Briscoe. I can't read, my glasses are terrible. But yeah. So is that from the actual poster itself? If that is the case, what a beautiful poster. And that's something that's, it's turned into, what is this, Mondo Squalido again? That's a reference for the old school people. Poster art. What's happening to poster art? Aside from like independents and special editions of a mainstream film that gets like a fancy slipcover, but it's still the same bog standard DVD and Blu-ray that's been sold for years. You're not really seeing too many like interesting pieces of poster art. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just like it came with get me head out of the way. That there, Rome Armed to the Teeth, directed by Umberto Lenzi, starring Thomas Millian and Maurizio Merli, as well as Arthur Kennedy. I mean, in fact, should we go a bit closer? You can see how shit my walls are. I mean, why is no one making any posters like that? Like, why is no one actually painting a poster? It's just like this, like, uninspired, like, digital painting, which this is the don't put that poster in, lumped in with what I've just said there, but do you know what I mean? It's like the art form. But then again, that's quite an ignorant thing to say, because there are plenty of filmmakers who are producing interesting films that have got something to say that are, you know, but I don't know, it's just, aside from a few exceptions, it's like music. Modern cinema just doesn't really do much for me. Anyway, I've waffled on. Again, don't use that word outside of YouTube. Yeah. Is this Independent North? I think that is the series. Yeah, all the information's in the description. As I said, Lovely, lovely beer. Highly recommended. Go get yourself a can. Go check out Strive Films. Go check out Jack King. Go check out the poster artist. All the information will be in the description. And yeah, if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. And I shall hopefully see you all later. And why has my voice gone to like a BBC ident voiceover? I don't know. Anyway, and next on YouTube, a much more enjoyable and well-produced video. See you later, guys. Take care.